welcome. Welcome to the Roseville Public Library. We're so glad that you could join us. My name's Tom Fenton, and I'm one of the librarians here, and we're going to do a little bit of magic, a couple of tricks today. If you were with me the last time, this was like 4 or 5 months ago. Basically, we talked about, I showed you how to do some card tricks, like if I take the 9 of hearts and put it on the top and cut the deck, we still have the 9 of hearts. I showed you a few things like how to make a card disappear from your hand and various things like that. If you want to learn more about how to do things like that, especially during the pandemic, you might have a little extra time on your hands, or you're tired of your schoolwork, or tired of Netflix or Amazon Prime, please come into the Roseville Public Library. We have a great collection of books. A couple of my favorite, this one here, cool card tricks, if you want to learn some card tricks, amazing magic tricks. These are all in our youth section. They're not just for youth, they could be for adults too. So, and the great news is that on February 22nd, we are reopening limited hours, but 10 to 4. The computers will be available. You can browse our collection, hang out in the library for a couple of hours. So we're really excited about that. So I hope I'll see you here. So I'm going to do some card tricks a little bit later, or a card trick a little bit later. But for now, we're going to start with sort of the classic thing that all magicians have, which is, of course, a magic wand. And this is a magic wand. It's wooden. And what I'm going to do, I hope you can see my hands here, is I'm simply going to wrap this up inside this piece of paper. Can you see it okay? I'm just going to roll it up. You can still see it. It's still in there. All magicians have to have a magic wand. Now, the tricky thing about a magic wand is they do magical things. Sometimes they appear, sometimes they disappear. In this case, we're going to roll it up so that you can't see it anymore. I can still hear it and feel it in there. It's still in there. And I'm going to wave my hand over it 1, 2, 3 times and snap my fingers. And all of a sudden, the magic wand disappears. The thing is, I need my magic wand for the show, so all I have to do is just rub my hands together 3 times, reach into my pocket, and the magic wand is back. Thank you very much. I can hear your really loud applauses. Thank you so much. Anyway, that's the magic wand trick. That now I can use this magic wand for various things. And we're going to move on to this. This is something I call 20th century silks. Magicians like to make things appear and disappear. How about things that sometimes can fly through the air? I'm going to put this glass here because we're going to need it in a minute. We're going to need the magic wand, and we're going to need these 2 silks. I don't know if you can you see the color? Can anyone see the color? Okay, you can see the color. They're purple, right? Purple. I'm going to take the 2 ends of the purple scarves, and I'm going to tie them together. Let's see if I can get a knot here. My fingers are too fat. Let's see if I can get a knot. Just a simple double knot if I can get it. Okay, there we go. I think I have it. Yeah, there you go. Simple double knot, just so that you can see the knot there. The 2 are tied together. Now I'm going to take the 2 purple, right? Purple, and I'm going to put them in this empty glass. This glass has nothing in it but, is there anything in there? No, just air, right? I'm going to take the 2 purple scarves, I'm going to push them in case you don't believe me. Turn it around, and you can still see 2 purple scarves. Nothing else in there but the scarves. Now, in my back pocket, I have something that's a different color. It's a yellow. It's a little bit shy, so we got to coax it to come out. It's a yellow scarf. Now, I'm going to take this scarf. Now, watch very carefully. Remember I said fly through the air? I'm going to take the scarf and put it in my hand. Push it. 1, 2, applause, it's so loud. Anyway, that's 20th century silk. It's one of my favorites. Sometimes when you do magic, and it takes a lot of practice, it takes a little bit of imagination. So this trick requires a little bit of imagination. This trick often reminds me of, for some reason, I often think about rabbits when I think about this trick, and you'll see why in a minute. We start off with empty hands. Empty hands, nothing in my hands whatsoever. Again, this takes a little bit of imagination. So you at home, I want you to imagine I have nothing in my hand, you see nothing there, nothing up my sleeves. I'm going to reach in the air and grab a red ball. Can you see it? Needs a little imagination, right? I'm going to take the ball, I'm going to put it in this hand, put it back and forth. Now I'm going to make the ball disappear. I'm going to throw it up into the air. You're probably wondering, what's he doing? The imaginary ball appears right here in my pocket. I think, there it is, yeah. It's like, oh, that's not so hard. Anyone could do that. It wasn't really a real ball. Okay, so I said it takes a little bit of imagination, and now you have to think about why this might remind me a little bit of rabbits. We have one ball. You see there's nothing else in my hand. I'm going to take my hand and just pass over it. 1, 2, 3, and we have 2. Now I'm going to take this ball here. It disappears. We're back to 1. It flew into this pocket. So now we have 1, 2. It's a nice backdrop, I hope. Now we have 2. Multiplying balls. 1, 2. After 2, what comes after 2? 3. So now we have 3. We take one of the balls, throw it to the air. It's gone. It's right here. And of course, we have 3 balls. 1, 2, 3. There's only 3. 1, 2, 3. So we end up with 4. We started with 1. We started with an imaginary ball. We ended up with 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. This one is called multiplying balls. And it reminds me of a rabbit for some reason, right? Because rabbits multiply. So speaking of rabbits, and this one I'm going to need your help. Okay. This is a trick. It's called Frazier Cat Rabbit. And I want to tell you a little story about my friend. He's a little bit shy. This is Frazier Cat Rabbit. And he lives in this house all by himself. You can see there's nothing else in there. And you can see he's a black rabbit. And I'm going to put him in the house, back in this little house here, just like that. And I'm going to turn the rabbit. I'm just going to move it behind my back, just like that. And I'm going to show you something that's very magical. I'm going to tap on it. And that rabbit, the Frazier Cat Rabbit that lives by himself, at least I thought he lived by himself, all of a sudden he changes into a white rabbit. Gosh, how did he do that? Now watch this. This is even more magical. I'm going to close the door, and I'm going to go around just like this. Bring it around, and then guess what? You're not going to believe this. Turns into a black rabbit. I'm going to try it one more time, except this time I'm going to go this way. Let's see what happens. Wonder if he changed. Let's find out. He did change. He changed into a white rabbit. This is crazy. Let's do it one more time, and then he changes into the black rabbit, which is where we started, right? The Frazier Cat Rabbit that lives in the house all by himself. He's a black rabbit, and you're probably thinking, why don't you just turn it around? So I'll turn the house around. You can see there's nothing there, right? Oh, you mean turn this around. You want me to turn this around. Okay, I'll turn that around. I can turn it around like that. You see there's nothing. Oh, turn it around like this. Okay, I'll turn it around like that just so you can see Oh, you mean turn it around on the other side? Well, it's just the other side of the rabbit. Oh, what happened? Anyway, that's my favorite guy, Frazier Cat Rabbit, and his best buddy. Okay, now, I need everyone's participation with this, okay? I need you to take a second right now, those of you that are watching, and I need you to go get a piece of paper or a napkin or something like that. I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds. Go get something, just something really simple like this. We're gonna do something with this. Someone told me once that this is the ultimate test to see whether or not you have any magical blood in you. And so we're gonna try this. I know it's a little difficult doing it online or virtually. It's a little easier to do it in person, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna try it and see how it works out. Okay? All right, I hope you're back and that you have a little, just a piece of paper like this. This is a napkin. I'm gonna actually tear this off like that so it's a little bit smaller. Here's what I want you to do. Follow my instructions. Take the piece of paper, just tear it into small pieces. Just like that. Okay? You don't need all of it. Then what I want you to do is fold it into a really small ball. Okay, there it is right there. Really small ball. Okay, now, rolling it up because we're going to do something really crazy with this. Okay? I think your mom and dad will let you do it. As long as it's a really small piece of paper. We're going to take your two hands and put them together just like that. Cup them together with the ball there. And then we're going to put the paper in your mouth. And the saliva from inside your mouth is going to react with the paper. And if you're a magician, something magical might happen. Again, we still have the little pieces of paper here. So put the piece of paper together. Put your hands together like that. Okay, don't push the paper down your throat. And we're going to put it in our mouths, and then I'm going to count with my fingers. 1, 2, 3. We'll have it in our mouth for 3 seconds, and then we'll take it out. Are you ready? Here we go.
Here's the good thing.
Well, I guess I'm the only magician here, unless you had, I don't know if anyone at home was able to get some magical paper out of their mouth, but boy, that's a fun trick, isn't it? That one's called multicolor. That's a lot of fun to do. Okay, the next one we're going to do involves a green scarf that I have right here in my pocket, and involves my magic wand, and it's also going to involve the glass here. Okay, so you have to really watch carefully here. I'm going to take this green scarf, and I'm going to push it into my hand. Okay? Try to keep my hands above the table so I don't try to trick you or anything. Just going to push it into my hand. It's still there. Can you see it? Can you still see it? Yeah, it's still there. Okay, good. All right, now, I'm going to take the scarf, I'm going to put it in the other hand. It's not in this hand. I'm going to reach in my pocket for my magic key. It's a magic key. I'm going to take the key, tap my hand 3 times, just like that. Wave over it. And all of a sudden, instead of a green silk, I have what? An egg. Oh my gosh, it's an egg. How on earth does he have an egg there? Well, you probably figured this out. It's a fake egg, and every once in a while, you've been such a good audience, you've been so quiet, every once in a while I like to teach people a trick. So I'm going to teach you how to do a trick. In this case, you need go to like a five and dime store. I guess they don't have five and dime stores, or maybe even a magic store, and they'll sell you an egg like this, and there is a hole in the egg. It's a wooden egg, and you need a scarf like this. So you start, you turn like this. Of course, I don't let you see the egg, right? I hope you can't see the egg. If you saw the egg, that would have ruined it. You keep your hand closed and you push the scarf in. Now, there's something called misdirection. Some of you probably know that word, and you probably used that with your parents, right? Misdirection. So when I switched the scarf and put it in the other hand, okay, now in this case it's the egg, right? And I put it in the other hand, this hand here. When I reached into here, I turned my hand around so that I was covering the hole. So now my hand, tap on it, is covering the hole of the egg. So I don't want you to see the hole in the egg, right? Because that would spoil the whole trick. The only problem is, when you're doing a whole magic show, you then have to walk around with your hand covering over the egg. The best thing you can do then is just wave over it like that. You crack it open. Oh my gosh, it turned out to be a real egg. That's not possible. How is that even possible? Okay. All right. So we are going to pause there for 1 minute, and we're going to get an assistant to help us with this last trick. Okay, welcome again. I also want to remind you, this is our last trick. I want to remind you that on February 22nd that we're reopening to the public 10 to 4. We'll still have curbside pickup. And I mentioned at the beginning of the show that we have lots of books, magic books, and I've pulled a bunch of them for you. If I'm working here, you can ask for me. Just ask for any librarian. They can bring you to the section. We have dozens of books on magic, so please come in, and we'd love to see you. All right, I said that one of the tricks we're going to do is a magic trick, and we require an assistant. This is one of our librarians, Sarah, and she's decided to help, and so she's going to help us out here. So this trick is going to involve a sharp object. It might involve an orange and my trusty magic wand, and also something for a runny nose. Think about what you might use for a runny nose, but and we masked up to be, just to stay safe, socially distanced best we could. Okay, so Sarah, who knows a couple of card tricks herself, so this is going to be tough. She's going to help us out here, and she's going to kind of follow my instructions, because there's a couple of things I'm going to ask her to do that are a little bit crazy, but we're going to do it anyway. Okay, we're going to start with a small deck of cards here, and I'm just going to ask Sarah to just yell stop whenever you'd like.
Stop.
Okay, now I want you to take the top card there and look at it. Don't let me see it. Okay, I'm going to put these away. Okay, now, did you show the audience? Okay, so the audience knows what the card is. What I'd like you to do, and you can move a little closer to the camera if you want to, is I want you to take the card, remember it, audience remember it, and tear the card in half. I know this wasn't something you do at home with your parents' cards. Tear the card in half, and then I want you to tear it one more time. So you should have 4 or 5 pieces. You can tear it one more time if you want to, if you can. Okay, good. And now I want you to put the pieces right here in my hand. Thank you very much. Isn't she a great assistant? I mean, we should give her a round of applause, but you can't really do that. Okay, I'm going to shake the pieces up. Okay, she did a really nice job tearing. I'm going to have you take one piece and hold on to that. If you have a pocket, you could put it in a pocket. If you don't, that's okay, but someplace where no one else can find it. Now, I'm going to take the pieces. They're right here. Remember I said something for a runny nose? This is an old handkerchief. I've had this handkerchief for so long. I tried to iron it the other night, and I kind of burnt it a little. As you can see, I don't iron too often, but this handkerchief has been with me a long, long time. So usually I have 2 people do this trick, but today we're just going to have Sarah. So Sarah, I want you with any hand, your right hand, I want you to hold the pieces, and then left hand, I want you to hold them as well. So you're holding the pieces. Yeah, but really squeeze tight. Okay, now, as tight as you can. Don't let them out. Okay, now, I have a knife here. I said there's going to be a sharp object. I am going to, one by one, remove the pieces from Sarah's hand and pass them into the orange. This is a regular Kroger orange. And try to make the pieces come back together. We're going to count to 3. When I say 3, I'd like Sarah, would you let go of the pieces? 1, 2, 3. Pieces have disappeared. Doesn't seem possible, right? Did anyone see the cards flying through the air and go into the orange? Did anyone? I don't hear anyone, so I'm assuming maybe you didn't see it. I'll cut the orange open. This doesn't always work. This, you buy an orange at Kroger, you don't know what's inside, right? We have a card. Looks okay. I can open it. Let's see if I can open it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, looks like a king. The card was the king. Uh-oh, there's one problem. Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, this trick has always worked, but there's one problem. The card is the king of hearts, but there's a piece in the corner missing. Sarah, did you keep a piece for us? Did you see if that piece fits right in the corner there? Does it fit?
It does.
Okay, we did it. Thank you very much. Again, we hope you'll come to the Roseville Public Library. We open again February 22nd. Lots of books on magic. We thank Sarah and Amanda, the cinematographer, for helping, and we hope to see you soon.